Hi guys, in this video I will show you the top 10 hardest Abyss rooms ever soloed by Ember. This is without stars in mind. I've been doing this for 3.5 years roughly, and there have been a couple challenges here and there. Starting off with the quad consecrated beasts at number 10. This was back in 3.7. It was in general a hard Abyss. Difficulty with having 2 beasts at all times, or like 2+2, is that they're not resisted to taunt. It's more like that their attacks start very early, before you even notice any animation, so they might just target you instead of the taunt, which makes things difficult. And overall they are pretty tanky, and it's also not always possible to break the crystals. Like sometimes you have to give up on it, because you just get pressured from the other enemy. And yeah, they got a couple dangerous attacks that need taunt quite badly, otherwise you have to dodge really well. Next up at number 9 we have Double Mage and Triple Herald. This is a freeze setup from the same Abyss. The first wave difficulty is very easy, but the second wave is harder than the beasts, because these animations are sometimes pretty hard to dodge, especially when the Cryo Heralds lunge at you. Like it's sometimes hard to tell when the attack comes in. And yeah, it takes a while to break all their shields, especially while paying attention to what everyone is doing, and if all 3 are taunted, then the taunt is also not lasting that long. For number 8 we have the room with 1 Abyss Mage with the Smoldering Flames aura, 2 Dendro Balls and 2 Fatui local legends. Thankfully the Dendro Balls can burn off by themselves, you just need to put Pyro on them once, so with the help of Baron Bunny I just get to burn the shields down, but later they might split up and I have to deal with their hard to dodge ranged attacks. And of course I have to beat them while paying attention to the Pyro Mage and his aura, because as soon as aura hits me, it will apply Smoldering Flames to me and I will just slowly die. With the mage being defeated as well, the second wave starts, which is a little bit easier. It's just the 2 Fatui local legends, and I can mostly just taunt them and juggle them until they die, though their attacks need some attention at times. As for number 7, we have an anti-ember room, 2 Pyrogunners, 2 Kairagi and 2 Pyrolector. This painful room was released in 4.2, and the start is very cursed because I'm required to juggle these Pyrogunners and kill them both quickly. I cannot let them get any shield, because it needs a time for the Pyrolector. The 2 Kairagi are the typical kill at the same time annoyance, but they're not really hard to deal with. And then we have the Lector, which have both combined over 8 million HP. Since I cannot break the shield with Elemental Gorge, I have to physical brute force it. And since they take so long, there's a lot of time where I can make mistakes or where I can get hit randomly. Like when they summon their totem and these pyro circles appear, they are mostly targeted at you or the bunny, depending on who it targets. But the random ones can also reach you, and then you just get a hit. At number 6 we have a pretty cursed Abyss with just Fatui and Aromites. That was in 3.0. The first wave was pretty annoying with 2 crossbows and 2 Aromite girls attacking me while I have to rush down the Pyro Gunner. But that was nothing compared to the second wave, which is 1 Cryo Aromite, 1 Fatui Hammer Guard and 1 Fatui Gunner, with the Fatuis both having an aggressive aura. The hard part here is basically not running into the Electro Cage and Baron Bunnying the Pursuing Fireball and repeating that until they are all gone. For number 5, it's an Abyss room with only 3 enemies, an Agent, a Assassin Mage and a Cryo Assassin Mage from 1.5. The Agent has a Pursuing Fireball aura and he also hits very hard, so he one-shots Baron Bunny, which makes the taunting very hard and most importantly the blocking of the Fireball. And the Assassin Mages have 6 Sissons that keep attacking you, so that's pretty annoying. I also took damage in that chamber, but that was because of what's on number 1. It drained all my sanity and I just wanted to get any run basically. At number 4 we have the Geodog Hell from 3.3, which is 12 small dogs and 3 big dogs, and one of the big dogs has a Geo Aura. The hard thing here is to keep enemies away for long enough to attack them effectively, because these small dogs keep chasing you and Baron Bunny sometimes just doesn't catch all of them. And the spawns are staggered, like you kill 1 enemy and you get 1 back until they run out of enemies, which meant I had to kill all 6 of the last small dogs at once more or less, so I don't have the big dogs in the mix but on their own. And the Geo Aura made the 3 big dogs on their own still very challenging. Overall it's a hard room. Next up at number 3 is a 2-wave room from 3.6. The first wave are a couple Helichul Hydro Rogues. They're not that difficult to deal with, but they take some time, so there's a lot of time passing until we get to the hard part, which is 4 Eremites. 2 are Summoners, Pyro and Anemo, and the other 2 are like the lower bracket, being Hydro and Cryo, but they have auras, which is Bubble Cage and Cryo Cage. And having those 2 auras combined with the Anemo pole, yikes. So I basically had to approach this by taking out first the 2 pets and then focusing the aura Eremites just to reduce the chaos more and more. But once I got rid of the Hydro Girl, the rest was easy, but getting there was very hard. Next is Xenora on steroids on number 2. That was in the 4.0 Abyss, the Pyro Crab. The buff to this thing in Abyss is that the Pyro floor lasts a lot longer. And it has attacks that you cannot A-frame well. You have to like bait the attack to miss-aim, as it aims where you are going and not where you are. And if this wasn't hard enough, it is also very tanky because I cannot break the shield. So it has a scaled HP of like 6 million or something. All in all, it's like Xenora fight. You have to position yourself right, so the floor is not full of pyro and you always have an exit path. But yeah, there's not much to say, it's a boss, so it took forever to kill. And finally, the 1.5 Hydro Zoo, a very awful room. There was a different Ember main attempting this, but he could not pull it off. Then he asked the 3 other Ember mains that are pretty active in Genshin with soloing, and 2 didn't have C4, so they couldn't do it, because the enemies are just too aggressive. There's no way to really fight them without taunt. And that only left me, and even I took 25 hours to clear this. And that's like taking more than twice as much damage as the HP count has, because I had to use the 30% heal card after bursting. As you just saw, it starts with 2 ducks, 3 boars, 2 squirrels, and a Hydra Abyss Mage with the Bubble Cage aura. The ducks were the reason why the single bunny embers dropped out. You just need an extended taunt to even fight them properly. But then there are also the 3 boars. They have a very buggy hitbox when they try to ram you, like it goes very far to the side. And on top of that, you have squirrels hunting you down and sniping you as well. And also the Hydro Mage is there and spawns his Bubble Cage all the time. It is just overall terrible, but that's just first wave. Then after you beat everything, you get the second wave, which is 3 cranes, 2 crabs and 1 Pyro Mage with a Smoldering Flames aura. Crabs always suck, because as soon as they start moving, that's considered an attack. Which means if the bunny didn't land before they move, they will not chase it until they're done with chasing you, and then they attack the bunny if it's still there. At least the cranes are not too much of an issue here, because they just try to snipe you and don't chase you. But then there's still the mage that can apply Smoldering Flames to you, and then you have to get hit by the crabs to not burn to death. Like I would even struggle at this with my current gear, compared to back then with R1 Harp and D4 Amber. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That was my top 10 video. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.